Oh, it's that girl again. That strange girl. She was frantically running, probably running late for school again. On her back was her backpack, and slung across her shoulders was another bag. Smaller, though. I watched from my seat on the red bus as she barely made it to the doors of the bus, out of breath. She presented her bus pass and the driver let her in. The bus shook, and she managed to stumble her way to a seat on my right. I put down my reading glasses, closed my book, and rested my head on my hand, waiting for her to bring out her usual breakfast, a carton of chocolate milk. It wasn't always a carton of chocolate milk, though. Sometimes she would pull out a big bottle of juice, and it would drip on her short hair whenever she hastily chugged it down. Twice she even brought a plastic bag filled with cereal and milk, and used a plastic spoon to eat. She would bring sandwiches and fruits and biscuits and noodles, and even a T-bone steak. Well, once I saw her pull from her pocket a brown carton of chocolate milk, as I expected. The bus shook, and she had troubles poking the straw through. She quietly sipped on her breakfast and looked out the window. It's like this every morning. Only occasionally would people care to ask her about her habits. I never see her with any friends or even talking to anyone at all. To be frank, no one really cared about her. The bus suddenly and unexpectedly stopped today. I looked out and I was pretty sure we were at least 5 miles away from school. The driver informed us of a flat tire, and I sighed. My hand instinctively reached for my book, but I halted when I saw the girl snapping her fingers and looking regretful. It's almost as if I could hear her say, "Damn, I should have brought a steak today." I laughed loudly without noticing myself, and I saw her head turning. I stopped and pretended to read my book. From the corner of my eye I could see her glancing curiously around, while scratching her head. I giggled silently to myself. She shrugged, and continued to sip her chocolate milk. I noticed her biting the straw. Only little kids ever do that. The bus's tire was temporarily fixed, and by the time we reached the school, the girl's head was buried in her arms, and her hand clutched the probably empty by now chocolate milk. Everyone started to leave the bus, but she stayed like that. This didn't look too good. And just like that, I talked to her for the first time. I tapped her shoulder and she raised her head. "We're at school now," I told her. She nodded and stood up. I led her outside the bus and she smiled at me.
"Thank you. You're a nice guy."
We stood there for a while, staring at each other, until I realized she was waiting for me to answer her. Don't mention it." I looked at her hand. She's still holding the carton. "Haven't you finished your chocolate milk yet?" I stupidly asked. She didn't laugh, but her eyes told me everything.
"Oh, right,"
she said, throwing the carton in a nearby trash can. As I walked away, she told me.
"And it was mocha flavored chocolate milk."
Yeah," I replied. The bell rang, and as I ran, I thought quietly to myself, "Mocha flavored chocolate milk?"